When we talk about the carbon cycle, there's basically two things happening here. There's things that dump carbon into the atmosphere, usually in the form of carbon dioxide, and there's things that take carbon out of the atmosphere. Okay? Now, we're only talking about one type of thing or living organism that can take stuff out of the carbon out of the atmosphere. But in reality, there are more ways to take carbon out of the atmosphere than just photosynthesis. Okay? But for us, that's all we're going to focus on. Right? So, here's the deal. I am a tree, and the only way I can survive is by making my own food. I am an autotroph, means I feed myself. I'm a producer, right? Okay, so I get the sun out here. I get Mr. Sun, and I photosynthesize, which is great because I'm making my own food. In order for me to photosynthesize, I actually need to take CO2 from the air, and I need to absorb it into my cells, into me. And all kinds of reactions occur, and I make my own food. As a result of that, okay, one of the things that gets produced in addition to my food, my sugar that I make myself, is oxygen. Oxygen gets produced. Okay, this is what we call a byproduct. Oxygen gets dumped out. This is great for all the other animals on the planet and even plants. Plants also need oxygen at night. Okay, but during the daytime, animals and nighttime, animals need oxygen. We don't survive without it. We actually need oxygen to break down the sugars that we eat. Otherwise, we cannot get energy from them. Okay? So we take in all of this amazing oxygen, goes into the little piggy over here, okay? And we spit out what? Every time I exhale, what am I exhaling? CO2. Carbon dioxide, CO2. So, oh no, redo. So I am exhaling CO2. And my little pig is exhaling CO2. And this is a really nice balance. Okay, living organisms make CO2. Plants take in CO2 and they make oxygen. We need oxygen, so we take it up. Amazing carbon cycle here. So much give and take. Everybody's happy. And then we started inventing machines. Okay, so this is like a page right out of the Lorax, pretty much. All of these additional machines input a lot more carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. So when we look at all of the arrows going into the air, there's more arrows and they're thicker. So CO2 amounts go up, right? Now, here's my question. What happens when there's more CO2 in the atmosphere? It thickens. What thickens? Well, the atmosphere stays the same, but there's a layer in the atmosphere. Greenhouse gases thicken. So if this is my atmosphere here, okay, here we'll draw it nice and gray. If this is my normal atmosphere, my greenhouse gas layer, which we know is important, we can't survive without it. But with all the additional carbon dioxide that we're pumping in, and methane, which is a different form of atmospheric carbon, what we're actually doing is we're making this even thicker. Right? So a thicker atmosphere or a thicker atmospheric layer of carbon dioxide does what to global warming? It heats up the earth because less heat can actually leave into space. Now here, whoa, wait a minute. Look what I'm going to do. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Hi, yeah. See you later, tree. Sorry, sucker. I'm going to cut you down. You're blocking my view. Sorry. Bye, tree. Okay, so this guy's sort of still there. He's kind of pitiful looking, scrawny, but he's all by his lonesome. So what impact does cutting trees down have on the carbon cycle? Give me one.
It makes a lot more CO2.
Why would there be more CO2 in the atmosphere?
There's less trees to photosynthesize.
There's less trees. So here, look at this. There's only one arrow here sucking up the CO2, but there's like 4 dumping it into the atmosphere. I get that this is a simplification, but all over the world right now, people are cutting down trees. Okay, they're cutting down trees to make way for new buildings, to make way for fields for cows, all kinds of stuff like that. So cutting down trees can actually have a pretty negative impact on the carbon cycle, which can then impact global warming. Do you see that? Do you see the link between the two? So the carbon cycle is nothing more than the carbon that gets emitted into the atmosphere and the carbon that gets absorbed by plants through photosynthesis, and they happen to spit out some oxygen for us. Okay, so the carbon cycle is the movement of carbon in our planet, basically, in the closed system that is Earth.